Welcome back to Supergame East's inaugural event at OXCC in Chesapeake City, Maryland. This is the third video in the commentary series of the Friday games. Friday's games were known as the Spoils of War. Now, why were they called the Spoils of War? Because there's two bases on the field. You're looking at one of them that offers spoils. And the way it works is teams will essentially take ownership of the base. And in doing so, they collect teammates to stack the base, set the team color to their, set the flag to their team color, and during a 30-second window, however many players are in that base can claim spoils. You see the flag going up now in the background? So now this team is now going to hurry to get as many players in there and claim spoils. If you play with a pump gun or a mag-fed gun, you can claim 2 spoils, I believe. And the spoils are beads. So you can see the players now working their way around into the interior where they'll actually physically claim the spoils. There are plenty of refs here, as you can see, with the white flags in the background, making certain that during this 30-second window, this is a non-hostile environment. They cannot shoot out, and opposing players cannot shoot in. So it's,
excuse me, gentlemen. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah. Who's got a towel?
That was...
All right,
so we can't get our beads until game on?
No, you can't lead. You're getting your beads now.
Oh, okay.
Game on will signify you already have your beads.
Thanks, sir.
You got it, Whitey. You're lucky I know you.
I am loved so much.
You are. You're loved,
I'm
dude.
like to respawn like 8 times.
You're all about love.
Taking out a bunch of people at the same time. I love pictures. Yeah, I couldn't even see through that side of my eye.
I didn't even have to show my tits.
Well, you could if you wanted to.
Remember, pump guns get 2. Pump guns get 2. Gotta get in and get your beads.
Hey, you DangerMan.
Everybody get your beads so we can
Let's stop. We got our beads. Let's not sit.
I got a pump shocker.
We're not allowed to leave.
Just in case, check everyone's tape. Check everyone's tape, just in case.
We're not allowed to leave.
I know,
Guys, heads down, heads on the swivel. Heads down, heads on the swivel.
All right, I'm getting out of this little fucking...
Check their ID.
And a 2 for you, sir. For a mag gun? Yeah, mag pump it too.
Did I flash you?
Anybody else coming in here?
Right here, right here. Oh, God, dude.
Oh, now you want to show up. I made you guys
Get your beat!
We did all the work for you, and then you stroll in.
Yeah, okay. You got this base because of me.
I was gonna say I saw Mac.
As you can see, players are quickly grabbing their beads before the time expires. This 30 seconds felt more like a minute. Did it feel like a minute to you? Like we should probably be timing this. And as you can see, everybody's now live. The white flags are down. The blue team can now take this base from the red team and claim points for itself. So the real trick is not taking the bases. The trick is how many players you can get in that base after you've taken it when you set the flag to your team color. Now you may ask yourself, why even give the base up? You could just stack a bunch of players in there and hold it all day. Well, the reason you don't do that is because there's 2 of these bases on the field, and you need to decide how many players you're going to attack each base with and see how many players you can either keep in there or keep retaking these bases with. So there is an overall strategy to not just camping out in one base. And that's because the game producers planned it this way. They didn't want one team just camping in a base all day and that's the end of it. It does balance out the game. All right, so Whitey has given the team, one of the players are Whitey, one of the locals, has inadvertently told the team to go right instead of left. I'm going to put a map up for you, but had they gone left, they would have in fact gone towards the other base and claimed points. Instead, they're about to smack down the blue team and push them back into spawn, which is fun, but it doesn't earn them any points. Okay, so here you go. Here's Whitey's bad intel right here.
You said there's a base over there, right?
Dude, there's another base. I don't exactly know because I don't ever pay attention to that shit. I'm just saying. I'm not lying.
God loves an honest man, Whitey.
Can somebody please check that out?
Yo, before you shoot, tell us what you're shooting at.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of the...
All right, I believe I've set this up nicely for you. Now you can see why the Apex Predators and the Supergame Cocks and these walk-on players who are accompanying them are heading in the opposite direction of where they should be going. They're heading to Spawntrap the blue team. And again, it's fun, but it doesn't earn them any points. But having said this, they don't know they're only going to accomplish a spawn trap. They just know that they're attacking the blue team in hopes of finding the place on the field where the next base is.
I got 4 at your 1 o'clock.
All right, he's pushing the envelope.
All right,
Pushing
see
the
all this
What's that?
this little fuzzy grass
This is that
that's in here in this
County
field?
Education coming into play.
I've mentioned this before. I'll mention it again.
there
Why
you go.
not?
Okay, well then you probably do better than me.
I broke
Nah, I don't think I do
my
any better.
foot
Gotcha.
I may be
in
worse.
5 places and
There's
tore
3
2
guys out on the
ligaments off
field.
running through that stuff
Yeah, by that
a few
shed
years
over there.
ago,
Yo,
as there was a root out in the middle of this stuff.
I gotta start.
You would expect a root to be right next to a tree, but it was out in the middle. I think they've since removed it. I've looked hard to find it. I can't find it anymore, so to the field's credit, they removed that root. But that's paintball. I mean, I was bumping from the 40 to the 50. They had like a woods ball type speedball field here in the woods here, and I was just flying as fast as I could from the 40 to the 50, and my foot got caught underneath this exposed root and just snapped all the bones. And that's what happens in paintball. I mean, you've got to look where you're stepping. I'm just, use this as a cautionary tale. I'm not slighting the field. I mean, heck, I go back there. I've been going back there all the time. It's not the field's fault. I mean, I guess it would be if a field didn't do something about the terrain after somebody hurt themselves there, but again, it's not there. Apparently they fixed it.
Oh shit, I'm in a lane. Thanks, guys.
All right, so let's get to this. So red team now, as you can see, is kind of spread out in this elbow part of the woods, pointing towards that open field out there with the trenches. And not only are there trenches out there, but there's a lot of trees and there's some pillboxes. It's not easy to push into there. But in my opinion, the best way to push through any line is to spread it, to thin it out. And red kind of effectively does this simply because they had more players on the field than blue did. I'm going to call that straight up. I recognize red as being the better team on the day. However, they also had more numbers on the field. So just by sheer numbers alone, they couldn't help but do better.
Now for the people at home, this is how you use a tree for cover.
You're right. Big man trying to hide behind
Gotta
some
love
tree.
it.
Love it.
It works sometimes. You'd be surprised.
Oh, we got a butt crack. We got a butt crack. I got to go for this one.
You can now see out into that open space, the corner, the inside corner of the elbow there, in that open space with the blue team player shooting back at the red team. So you got a little glimpse of what was out there shooting back, but we'll eventually actually get out in that field and you'll see this combat from a more closer perspective. I'm actually bird dogging a lot of these players right now. However, I don't think they're really well hidden, so I don't think I'm giving away anything.
This is how you play paintball. The action is to the other side, and red's heading this way.
So red here from Soup Can Cox has got the right idea. He's spreading the edge of that
All
line.
jokes aside, looks like he's trying to flank.
And he's following, I believe, yet another player that used to play on Soup Can. I think he plays now on Apex. You can see his little loader on there, a little hopper. Little pump gun. So the question is, does a pump player play at a deficit? Do they play at a handicap? To speed, they do. To accuracy, they would say they've got an advantage
somebody
over
in this
you.
building, I believe. Can't really tell.
So I come up here on Chris, and I'm afraid I'm bird dogging him. He wants me to get away, but he actually just says he stresses people being near him in general.
Oh, Lars, go away.
You don't want me bird dog you, huh?
Not right now.
So
Red, I'm going to come through your lane. You ready?
So Chris was telling me just then, yeah, to move off, but the fact was, told me a little bit later, it wasn't about bird dog. He could care less about that. He was just stressed having people watching over him. This is red. Looks like he's low on paint. So he is shooting into the elbow, or kind of across the elbow. You can see now the red team is now pushed into the interior of the trenches, and they're in the inner part of the elbow. They're at the very corner of the elbow. You can see now how players are kind of pushing straight across the line from the red side. So you see that wood line? There's red players back in that wood line shooting out. So these red players are the first ones to make it into the trenches. And they're essentially squeezing these guys from two angles that are in those small buildings. Doing a great job of communicating with each other. They're letting each other know where their opponents are to be shot out.
To the left of the building as well.
So I'm going to jump in here and give you an eyeball. Somebody should pop out. You should see him with this zoom. Now, do you see that far side of the field? That's the tape line. That's the back side of the field. If you were to walk that tape line to the right by about 150 feet, you'd be at the very corner of the field where blue inserts. So blue is essentially trying to play off the back tape line across this field. And they're going to get whittled away. So remember, I left Chris over there to the right a little bit. I think red there took Chris's spot, and Chris is still pushing up. So he's aggressively semi-prone, moving up. I think that's Whitey in the background.
Way up there in the woodline.
At least he's making noise.
Right there.
Okay, so there's, I think that's Whitey telling Red, get out of the woods. You know, they've got it. They've got this small encampment now, and now they're going to push across to the tape line. This is all for nothing. This is all for the sake of brawling. There's no points to be gained here. But it is nice. I mean, you can see some nice open shooting lanes. It is so humid. This is the Friday part of this event, and it was just disgustingly humid. Bordering 90 degrees. It was like 89 degrees. There's Whitey.
Get your guns up!
Bless Whitey's heart, just talking nice and loud, letting people hear him. Those are the type of players you want. You really do. You want players who communicate. You may not need that information, but it's there when it's there for you just in case.
Yo!
I think I just heard Whitey saying I'm sweating my dick off.
What's that?
I cannot stress enough. This humidity was just nasty.
Where they at? They want to play hide and seek. Let's go play.
All right, so there's Mac. He's noticing that there may be some blue guys that were so far down that tape line that they're actually behind the red. I'll give you a map here so you can see where they may be. Now, following Mac here and the Apex Predators and the Soup Can Cocks into this woods, they're kind of backing into the woods. You can see the blue on the map that I've drawn. You can see how they've kind of like separated the blue team from itself, and they've left some stragglers off to the left on the tape line. And of course, because they're kind of camped in on a position like an island back in these trees, they really don't give themselves an out other than to kind of make a Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid Last Stand type situation. It really doesn't work out for them very well. So I'm going to let you see a couple blue players here in their demise. We're getting close to the tape.
Yeah.
I got blue walking out.
He's walking this way.
I can't tell you where I see him, but I see him.
That's red. Red!
All right, you're going to see that I'm going to point the camera at this island of green. He's back in there. He's bugged in. And I got to tell you, if it was me, I would have busted ass down that tape line and lived to fight another day. But this guy gets roped in. Right there he is. You're going to see more red players to the left of your screen. This guy is just so tight in there, and he did not want to come out. I mean, they offered him a courtesy to walk out, and he didn't take it. So this guy here in the yellowish-green shirt shot him out. And you're going to see him walking to the right of your screen in a moment.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
That was nice courtesy.
I tried.
I know, I saw it.
What are we capturing this CP? Just go in right where you're at. Like, what are we doing here? I don't want to walk in front of
My question is why aren't they holding the other base while they go after the next one?
Once you catch
because
the
if you
base,
just
it's
leave
done.
it, but if you just leave it, then they get the game points when you leave it. So you don't have to stand in it. I mean, obviously you can't stand in it, but they should have like a little contingent just holding them off.
I know what you're saying.
And I don't know, understand why Red's not doing that, or either team's not doing it.
I said that before. Take it, step back, let them take it so we can retake it, kind of thing. And
But my point is take it, get your points, step back, and hold them off from taking it.
Yeah.
And then this way, you stop that cycle because everybody, it seems like everybody leaves it, and then the other team takes it, leaves it, the other team
well, we
takes it.
can't get any more points as soon as you take it.
Right, but they can't either if you don't let them take
Yeah,
it.
but we only get 5, 6 points and they got nothing. It's kind of like a boring game.
Okay, all right,
You
well.
know what I mean? You should let them take it just to retake it, kind of thing, so we can get the beads back.
Sure. I ain't complaining.
Yeah, but
So ultimately, the logic here should be by either team is this. If you're going to give up the base to let the other side take it, don't let them stack the thing full of players. I mean, make it a real battle for them to put anybody in there. And quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, any attack on any base that you intend to take needs to be with a large contingent for a higher point claim. And that's really what a lot of players had to learn from this experience. You could just hear this player talking about how he would do it and how I would do it, and the reality is neither one of us had it quite right. The fact is the bases are going to switch back and forth. The trick is putting the most players in there when you take it, and holding the other team off from putting as many players as they can in there when they do take it. All right, so we've reached the tape line. This is the back side of the field. If we look straight down that open space, eventually you make it to the blue base.
Media coming up the tape line.
And ahead of this red team, there's blue players camped out along the interior of that road that I'm kind of walking through now.
Media coming up the tape line.
So obviously the left side being the tape line, an unplayable area, the right side is playable. That is the only area in which players can hide in. See some red guys finding out the hard way that there's people bugged in. And
media coming up this
while you hear me, letting people know I don't want to get shot
media
up,
coming up the tape.
you're going to get some free views. This is what, players never get to see.
I hear you.
That a cameraman does. He goes, oh, wow, if they only knew there was nobody here, or there was this guy here holding back an entire team, they would all rush him. In this case, there's not really just one, but you get the idea. I mean, it's always great when you get a free view and no one else knows. This guy's about to get shot out.
Yep.
I don't understand why he sat there like that with an entire team coming at him.
Yeah, they did.
Crotch
I got
shot. That's funny. I mean, with no cover, I'd have been at least laying down.
Shot him in the balls and took it like a man.
Either that or he's Tyrion
It's a
Greyjoy.
short game, isn't it? 2 hours?
Yeah, I think they only have like a 45 minutes.
All right, so this game's got like
So here we are on the left
45
side,
minutes
far
left,
side
I
of the
think.
field. We're looking at this
And
tape line here.
here it is, the red
We got
team's
a few
wasting
guys
their
holding out.
time spawn trapping
We got a
blue.
large
But again, I
contingent
don't
coming up the tape.
think they understood or knew that they were spawn trapping. They may have been in search of this other base, but isn't that what you have radios for? The other players to say, hey, get over here.
I'll go get a perspective over their back.
Not really sure I understood it. And somehow red still just
Again.
walked all over blue and won this event.
Hey, let me get through the shot real fast. Here I come. Camera. Camera.
So in case you don't know, I'm in a Steadicam. I have a Steadicam on, and that's why you can hear that large clanking. I'm wearing about, I'd say, 40 pounds in gear. And although I've got 40 pounds in gear on, it doesn't feel like it. The Steadicam is a really amazing thing. Costly, but gets the job done.
better shot than that.
So now you get to see the flip side of what's shooting back at red down this lane.
Like fucking doing it on purpose shit. I can always tell.
And a number of these guys are the operators from Oregon.
Obvious. For me, I'm right at.
Well, that's true. I mean, but you are wearing an orange shirt.
So I'm talking to a
You
couple of
should
the
be,
camera guys from Scrub
You
Media.
should get some grace.
Very friendly guys. They just posted the other day a lot of the pictures from the event at their website. They sell them pretty cheap there. Great photographers. I've seen tons of their work.
I think everybody should have like a bookmark of all of the known media services as a paintballer. So like after an event, you could just hit all their sites and find out if there's any pictures of yourself. All right, so here's a nice view. We're looking down this long lane. We're seeing guys kind of try to post out and take a lane, but they can't. But they don't need to. Because what's happening is while these guys are tangling with them in this open lane, there are red team players crawling through those trees in the trenches just to the left. So it's going to end for these guys soon. And red's going to get so close that the referees are going to pull red back and let blue actually get out of their base so they don't get completely spawn trapped. And that's where this part 3 will end. But it's not over yet. Got some battles coming up here, some interesting moves. The nice thing about being a cameraman, again, is you can see everybody, what they're doing. Now this is the way you play. You play it prone. But I would be taking like one lane, and the guy behind me would be taking another lane.
God, I want to yell clear.
Now look through the
Only you're clear.
look
so
through
bad.
the bushes there. You're going to see a guy come up over top of him, right there. You might see it through the trees.
Surrender or die.
Right there. Look how close they were. They were like 2 feet away from each other. And they both went down. So what happened was they got the player that was on top of them, but when they started that firefight, a lot of the red players who were just behind them, because there's just so damn many of them, knew where the paint was coming from, just stood up and shot in on them and took them out. You can see them there now. So again, those are a couple players from the operators. Bless them. I mean, it's just a huge number of red. I mean, look at them all. There's bodies everywhere, and there's more where that came from.
On the right-hand side of the woods.
And you can hear Whitey again barking out. Good for him.
Yes.
I know a player like that. His name is Jeff DeGraff. Jeff, if you're watching that, there's your shout out. He is renowned as a great communicator on the field. Got to have players like that on the field. Got to. Ooh, Whitey just took a hit.
Yo, you're so wrong, dude.
Hey, check his head.
He's still up there.
Now, I saw that burst, but I think what's going to happen here is the ref's going to look at him and there's no break. I mean, sorry, no paint on him. So there may have been a break.
Good shot, kid. Good shot, bro.
That was wild.
Yeah.
I really expected to see something there. You saw the splatter too, didn't you? Or the splash.
Yeah.
All right, so Whitey survived the hit. Somehow it broke and it did not leave any paint on him. Maybe hit a branch or something. You can obviously stop the film, slow-mo it yourself. Look at that. Look at the people that he doesn't see. He's just going to go. Now he's just decided to go down.
Players out.
I think he made a conscious decision to just see if he could take somebody with him and trade out. But unfortunately, once he stepped out, there was just too many people already pointing in on that lane. All they had to do was just pull the trigger on him. This is what numbers does. I mean, when you have this many players, you're going to walk over people.
Yeah, man, I'm seeing a lot of good stuff. I'm just hoping it comes out.
So there you have it.
Shooting
I think
4K.
we're about to end this segment.
Yeah, on a really, really.
The referee's going to
depth
step
of
in here
field,
real
so
soon and
hoping
push
it gets
them
really
back.
good shit.
And at that point, it's just not worth.
Excuse me, sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Shit happens.
Nice movement here. Getting down prone.
All
I
right,
like it.
media coming in. Media coming in.
And here I am just going to change the view here so that you can kind of get a
Media coming
perspective
in.
of what is going on behind that wood line. Look at them all. They all just push straight through.
Okay, so red is
Another
pushed blue.
40 feet and you are at the opposing
Just
other
to the left
tape
of the
line,
camera
and
shot.
there's nothing left for blue to do
Stage
except just
left.
sit in their base and say hello.
So red is now pulling back by orders of the referees.
There you go. The refs are now pushing them all back. They're saying you've got as
Red
close
is
as you
pulling
can
back
get.
by orders of the referees. So in this direction here.
And again,
do
so
that
you
tree
just
line
watched
is
20
the
minutes of
blue
paintball
spawn,
play
and they're
where there was nothing
unable
to be
spawn
gained
without
other
any
than to
movement.
brawl. But, you know, hey, if you were in this, then you enjoyed this video.
Media.
See you in the next video, guys.
I'm gonna shut this down. There's nothing happening here.
It's too much for any man!
My God, did you actually finish a 25-minute paintball video? If you did, then you are ready for part 4. There are 2 left, part 4 and part 5 from Friday's commentaries, and then you get on to Saturday's commentaries and 360 videos as well. So there's a plethora of Supergame videos for you to choose from. In addition to that, make certain that you follow me on Twitter and Instagram under DangerManXX if you want to know when these drop. Furthermore, you can find me on Facebook under DangerMan's Lair, just like the website, dangermanslair.com. And you can also find me on Facebook under DangerMan. You just can't miss me. All these are great sources if you want to keep up with when things are going to come down the pipe. Thanks, guys.